Hey everybody, Cooper here at eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Kuat Piston Pro X on our 2021 Dodge Durango. Now our bike rack is going to be a premium platform style bike rack, but allowing us to hold two bikes weighted at 67 pounds individually. It does come with a lot of really nice premium features that we'll kind of get into throughout the video. First thing we're going to show off is the tilt-away by pulling our lever here in the middle of our bike rack. Our rack will tilt away, allowing us access into our back hatch. Whether we have our shoes, our helmet back here, or we just want somewhere to sit down after our ride, we do have that ability to come into this space without really having to really worry about how close we need to stand to it all. And to put our rack back, we don't need to re-engage that lever. Simply need to put one of our arms on the rack and a supporting hand on our bike and just push it back on, and then we'll hear that click back into place. Now that we've shown you the tilt-away feature, we're going to show you the unloading process. Coming up to our front tire, we're going to see that our piston arms do have these levers, which just disengage that system and allow us to push them out of the way. Now, before you disengage your last one, you're going to want to make sure that you have contact with your bike, because as soon as you disengage that, your bike's going to become free weighted. Now, I'm going to lift off our bike here, but if you had one of those heavier e-bikes or needed assistance loading or unloading a bike, there is an additional ramp available for this rack. But we're just going to go ahead and lift it off, get it to the ground. Now we're good to ride. Now with our bike off before we go out on our ride, we're just going to collapse our bike rack back up. By re-engaging that same lever, we can see that it will put it in this kind of freestanding motion until we engage that ratcheting mechanism, which is going to be how our bike is really held tight in place. Coming up to our front run right here, we can see that being held at the top of our tires is this little arm that if we pinch on here, there are some different settings on different levels to help accommodate different tire sizes. But once we put those folded all away, we can actually re-engage that same lever we used to tilt it away, and that will allow us to put our rack in this more compact position, which will just help keep the area around our car clean and help with anybody else who's maybe trying to fit into a space. To show off another one of the really nice premium features about this rack is that on the sides, when we are in this folded up position, we actually have tail lights that hook up into the system of our car if you have 4-pole wiring available. Now obviously with our Durango, that our tail lights sit so far up, that's not really a concern of ours, plus it doesn't come with that 4-pole wiring. But if you have it installed into your car, it is an additional option for you. We are going to have a totally unobstructed view of our back glass, totally unobstructed view of our license plate, and because our rack sits so low, we are going to be able to use our backup camera. Now we might see the rack within our backup camera, but we're going to be able to see over it to anything else within the surrounding area of our vehicle. Now anytime we put something within the hitch of our vehicle, we're going to be adding on some length to it. So by taking our tape measure, putting it against our bumper, we can see in this folded up position, we're only adding on about an additional 12 inches or a foot onto the back of our car. Now of course, this is going to be how you're driving with no bikes added on if you're going to the supermarket or while it's just sitting there while you're off on your ride. So if we fold it back down into our carrying position, we'll be able to see that we are adding on an additional 26 inches. So a little more than double than how it was in that folded up position. Now this configuration is important for if you're just making sure that you can store it in your garage in this fold down position, maybe trying to fit into a tight space, or changing lanes on the highway, to be aware and remember that there is an additional 26 inches you need to account for on the back of your car. Coming down to the bottom to get our last measurement, we're going to look at our ground clearance. And that looks like it's going to be sitting at about 21 inches, which, I mean, it sits so high up, especially because of our shank rise, that I'm not really too concerned about if you were to go up a steeper incline, this making contact on the ground at all. Towards the middle of the rack, we can see that we have a metal lock core and a hole here. This is to use our cable lock, which, while not integrated into the bike system, does come with the rack. And that's just going to be an additional security measure to help give you that peace of mind while your bike's here if you have to run to the grocery store or use the bathroom at a gas station or something. Speaking of your bike, what kind of bikes can we hold here? Well, by looking at our trays, we see these different little groove sets here, helping us accommodate up to a 5-inch tire width. And we do have a maximum wheelbase of 53 inches, which just means with all that space, we're going to be able to accommodate bigger bikes while minimizing that bike-to-bike contact between your two bikes. Taking a little bit of a closer look, we are going to see that we have a 2-inch shank, which is going to fit inside our 2-inch receiver. We do have a pin down here and a lock, which is going to be key-to-like to all our other systems on our rack. We do have an anti-rattle system, but that's going to be a little bit further back right here. And as we can see, we're going to need a tool for that. So while it's technically not a totally toolless system, the tool does fit into the bike rack itself. So it is nice that while you do need a tool, it's going to fit in here and you don't need to keep track of anything else. That also is key-to-like to the same lock cords as everything else on the rack. So you're going to have essentially one master key that is going to be able to lock and unlock anything you need on the rack. Overall, I do think that the Kuat Piston Pro X is a really nice bike rack. However, it is a very premium bike rack. That 5-inch tire width, those piston arms, the integrated lights, they're all just really nice premium features that it comes with. It is a very solid bike rack and is going to be able to carry any bike that we throw at it. But if you're looking for something pretty similar to it, holds your bike in the same way, but however does shrink down to a 3-inch tire width, something like the Rocky Mounts guide rail would be a really good option for you. But today, this was a look at the Kuat Piston Pro X on our 2021 Dodge Durango. Thanks for watching.